Everyone, and welcome back to Tales by Rose. I'm so excited for today's episode. We're diving into a story that I know you're going to love. Before we start today's story, remember to subscribe, like, share, and drop your comments. The Morning the Birds Refused to Sing, that's our title for today. The sky had never been quiet before, not in the small town of Marrow Creek. Every morning, the birds screamed life into the trees. The wind hummed through tin roofs. Dogs barked at nothing. Roosters competed like kings. But on October 17th, the sky turned silent. No birds, no wind, no sound. And that was the morning 12-year-old Daniel Cairo disappeared. Daniel wasn't special in the way heroes usually are. He wasn't the smartest in class. He wasn't the strongest. He wasn't even the loudest. But he noticed things, like how the air felt heavier that morning, like how the clouds didn't move, how the clock in his room stopped at exactly 6:11 a.m. Daniel touched it. It ticked once. That was when he heard it. A whisper, not outside, inside his head. "You're the only one who can hear us." Marrow Creek had one church. Old, cracked, paint peeling like it was shedding skin. Behind it stood a tree they called it the listening tree. Children said it leaned closer when you lied. Old people avoided it. Teenagers dared each other to touch it at night. That morning, Daniel walked to it without knowing why. It was cold, colder than the air, and carved into its bark were three words: "It starts again." By noon, Daniel was gone. His mother found his bed untouched, his shoes still at the door, his window locked from inside. But written on his mirror in dust were the words 6:11. The police searched the forest, divers checked the river. Neighbors whispered, but the sky remained silent. No birds, no wind. It was like the world was holding its breath. 3 days later, an old woman named Miriam knocked on Daniel's mother's door. She was 92, blind in one eye, and had lived in Marrow Creek longer than anyone else. She said one sentence: "This isn't the first time." Blind in one eye. 40 years ago, she said, another child vanished on a silent morning. Same date, same stopped clocks. Same tree. That child was her brother, and he came back. Her brother returned after 7 days, not hungry, not injured, but changed. He stopped speaking, stopped blinking normally, stopped dreaming. Before he died at not injured. Age 16, he said only one thing: they are waiting under the silence. On the 7th day of Daniel's disappearance, the sky cracked, not with thunder, but with sound. A single bird screamed, then all at once the wind returned, and the ground beneath the listening tree split open. Roots lifted, soil trembled, and Daniel stepped out. But he wasn't alone. Behind him, something else moved, something that didn't belong to this world. Daniel looked the same, but his eyes held something older. He walked home calmly. When his mother hugged him, he whispered, "They said I did well." That night, Daniel began drawing strange maps. Circles inside circles. Trees without leaves. People without faces. When asked what they meant, he said, "It's where they sleep." Who? The ones who keep. Balance of what? He looked at the sky. Noise. More children began dreaming the same dream. A silent sky, a whisper, a tree, and always 6:11. Miriam gathered the town elders. She revealed a forgotten truth. Marrow Creek was built on something ancient. Before houses, before roads, before names, an opening, a doorway that required hear the silence. Changed. Daniel's drawings grew darker. He stopped smiling, stopped eating. One night he told his mother, "They want to take more this time." "Why?" she cried. "Because the world is louder now. Cars, phones, screens, voices." Noise had grown stronger, and the balance was breaking. "They need someone to close it," he said. "Who?" she whispered. Daniel looked at her. "I volunteered." Daniel reveals that beneath the tree exists a realm made of silence, a place where forgotten thoughts live. The entity behind him is not evil, it is ancient, it feeds on sound, it restores balance by removing those who can hear too deeply. But something changed this cycle. Daniel didn't want to return, he wanted to stay human. The town splits into believers and skeptics. Strange events increase. Radios turn on at 6:11. Birds drop from the sky for seconds, then recover. People lose their voices temporarily. The listening tree begins growing black leaves. On the next October 17th, sky goes silent again. But this time, Daniel walks alone to the tree. He places his hand on it and says, "No more children." The ground opens. Sound collapses like a vacuum, and Daniel says, "Forever." The sky returns instantly. Birds scream. Wind howls, dogs bark, life resumes, but on the tree, new words are carved 40 years later. The little girl wakes up at exactly 6:11 a.m. The birds are silent, and she hears a whisper, "You don't have to be afraid." But this voice sounds familiar, gentle, protective, like a boy who once chose the world over himself. And that's our story for today. Like, share, comment, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.